As you get that spark back, you will be co-creating with the divine. You will love what you are doing. Yes, it is possible to love what you do and have an amazing, abundant outcome from that. Because when you co-create with the divine, miracles happen. Beyond your wildest dreams, what you thought could happen will happen when you follow this path. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Rest like it is making you money. Love yourself like it is going to solve all your problems, because it will. You are right on time. The world wasn't ready for you before. That's why this didn't happen before. The shift is now. There is no rush. We're in this together. And you're doing a great job. You're doing so much better than you think. And that is coming through very strong. And so if you feel like you've been knocked on your ass and you don't really feel like you're moving forward and you're not creating a lot of things, it's because your full-time job, whether you know it or not, has been transmuting this pain. When we can acknowledge within ourselves the pain we've experienced and the pain that we've inflicted and fully love and forgive ourselves, we elevate to the space of non-judgment, compassion, and wisdom. And this is what is going to help heal the world. I know it's been a long time since you felt like yourself, since you felt like you've had a clear direction in life. Maybe you've never felt this way. Maybe since you came to Earth, you've felt confused and lost and alone and like you don't belong here. And you've been asking Source, the universe, God, you've been asking for clarity. You've been asking to be shown the way forward. Because you know that in this life, you are meant to be passionate. You are meant to create something beautiful and magical in this world. And you've been trying to figure out what that is. You've been trying to move forward and finally feel that passion in your body again. But it seems like every single time you try, there's something holding you back. Maybe it's this wave of heaviness or stagnancy that comes over you. Maybe it's a chaotic mind or fear or anxiety in your body. And I want you to know that if you found this video, if you were drawn to this video, it's because a message of clarity is meant to come through for you right now. Always take what resonates and leave the rest. This is a message that came through very strongly for me, but I do intend that this video reaches those who are souls who are on a similar life path, life mission, and learning similar lessons to me in this life. So it is likely that this message will apply to you too. Spirit wants us to truly understand the depth and importance of our mission here on Earth. We haven't been able to really grasp it because everywhere we've ever gone, we've felt like we don't belong here. We felt alien. We felt like we can't really connect with other human beings on the level that we want to. And maybe we've had glimpses of that connection or glimpses of belonging, but it's never lasted or it's never felt rooted in that deep truth that we know is possible. What Spirit wants us to really understand is the depth of pain that we've experienced here on Earth and the reason behind those experiences that we chose at a soul level. I want you to know that if you're here, it's likely because you are a starseed, you are a highly empathetic soul, and you came to Earth with a huge open heart, with so much love, with this understanding of unity consciousness. You've likely lived lifetimes where you've experienced that unity consciousness and you know it so well. You know what real connection feels like. You know what unconditional love feels like. And so what you've experienced here on Earth with many surface level connections and experiences of conditional love. I'll only love you if you do this for me, or if you're perfect, or if you show up in this way or achieve this. You know that there's so much more to life than that. And so when you came here, that big open heart of yours, that powerful center within you, it broke. and it's not beyond repair, but you experienced immense pain, the more open your heart is, the deeper that pain is when you feel that separation and that confusion. And so what I have been asked to do lately, and what I feel Spirit is asking all of us to do who identify as star seeds or light workers, or if you just simply know that your mission here on earth is to change the world for the better with the power of love in some way. What they're asking us to do is to really acknowledge the depth of the trauma that we experienced, because we didn't experience it for no reason. But so many of us have denied our own experiences, have compared our own experiences. It's something that is very common to do in this world, to compare your trauma to somebody else's, to try to not make it seem like that big of a deal. But research has shown over and over again that trauma is not an objective experience to be compared. Trauma is a subjective experience, which means that two people could experience the same exact traumatic event and have completely different repercussions from it. There are so many different factors to the way that we internalize trauma, but if you're here watching this video, it's because your heart was so open when you came into this world. You were so optimistic. You were filled with so much love that the contrast of even the tiniest trauma was a shock to you. And it is likely that you experienced more than just the tiniest trauma. It is traumatizing in itself to come into a world that feels so disconnected from love and so disconnected from that truth that you knew within you. To experience bullying, or parents who can't really show up for you in the way that you need, parents who can't protect you, who can't love you unconditionally. To experience the media telling you that you're not enough constantly. To experience the systems that we're put into telling us that we have to be good at certain subjects and get certain grades or else we're not worthy. To be told the only way to fit in and have community around you and to be successful is to conform to what everybody else is doing and have no individual expression of self, have no personal or creative desires, but desire to climb up the corporate ladder or get a job that makes sense to those around you, that assures your success. All of that is a trauma in itself. It's a trauma of abandoning your true desires, your true self. It's the trauma of being pushed off of the path that your soul truly wants to go on. Not to mention the numerous experiences of gaslighting and invalidation and abuse so many of us have gone through. And I don't say this to push you to identify with this trauma. I don't say this so that you start to identify as a victim or feel like you should identify as a victim. But one of the most important pieces to your mission on earth is to deeply validate the pain that you experienced here. To reconnect with those parts of yourself that were wounded and hurt and tell them that you understand what they went through and that it wasn't your fault, that you didn't do anything wrong, that you are not broken. To deeply hold yourself and support yourself in the way that you always needed in your life. This is why you came to earth, to experience that heartbreak and rediscover your power to mend that broken heart, to hold yourself, because you are source. You are that unconditional love. And when you bring unconditional love and validation to the emotions that you experienced, to how beautiful your sensitive and open heart was, and that there was nothing wrong with you for having that, although it caused you pain, that your heart is the very thing that is going to save and change this world. In order to do that, we have to really understand ourselves. We have to validate ourselves deeper than we ever have, even if you've done a layer of this. Validating your experience is so crucial. not trying to just think positive thoughts, but really understanding your own heartbreak. And I'll tell you why this is so significant. Because nothing you experienced was an accident, even the painful moments. You experienced those painful moments because you are an alchemist. You know how to transmute that energy. As you transmute that energy with pure unconditional love, and the way you transmute it is by deeply validating it and being there with yourself and not telling yourself to get over it or comparing your trauma to somebody else's or telling yourself that you didn't have trauma, because if you exist on earth, it's likely that you've experienced trauma. But to go there and hold yourself so deeply, and then what is birthed through that experience is compassion and wisdom. You came here to develop the skill of compassion and the wisdom that comes with having gone through difficult experiences. I don't know if you've ever come across a young soul, a soul who doesn't really seem to be able to deeply empathize with other people. There's nothing wrong with being a young soul, but you might have noticed that there are people that you've met in your life, people that you've stumbled across, who can't really seem to shift out of their own narrative and their own perspective. And this is because it takes experience to develop compassion and wisdom to the level that you have developed it and that you're currently developing it. It takes having experienced it in some lifetime, in some part of your soul path, to be able to really go there and to stop judging. The most judgmental people you know are judging themselves, first and foremost, but judging other people because they haven't been able to develop that compassion. Because compassion comes through experiences, through going through hard experiences where you've healed and you've learned to love your own shadow parts, and you've learned that your shadow parts just showed up to try to protect you, and that you didn't want to be cruel or evil or mean or do something that hurt somebody else. But it was your own pain that led you to do that. When we can acknowledge within ourselves the pain we've experienced and the pain that we've inflicted and fully love and forgive ourselves, we elevate to the space of non-judgment, compassion, and wisdom. And this is what is going to help heal the world. Because there are so many people out there in the world who want to point a finger and say that somebody else is the problem. Somebody else is wrong and bad and they need to be punished, and then the world will be fixed. This black and white lens of thinking where there's good and bad, right and wrong, when really it is so much more complex than that. And what we are learning is that we cannot shift from this darkness, from this place that so much of the world is in, through judgment towards the darkness. What transmutes darkness is love, is compassion, is understanding. And love is not this pushover type energy, this doormat type energy. Love is strong and it is powerful. It is the ability to understand that negative thoughts and behaviors and our shadows, they come from deep pain and disconnection. And as we understand that and are able to not hold resentment or judgment, we set ourselves free. You understand deeply where those shadows come from while also maintaining protection of your own energy. I understand you, but that does not mean that I let you into my heart anymore. That does not mean that you can take space in my body. I do not consent to that. We do not consent to that. We can understand with love and compassion while also holding firm in our boundaries. That is what this pain is here to teach us. It's here to teach us that it is complex and it is not as simple as good and bad, black and white. And the more of us that do this internal work of understanding our own shadows and validating our own painful experiences and loving ourselves deeply, forgiving ourselves for the pain we have also inflicted on other people due to our own traumatic experiences, the more that we do this, the more that we can transmute and alchemize this energy for all of humanity. This work that we're doing is so much more important than we think. So please stop telling yourself that you haven't experienced trauma or that you have to just think happy thoughts. You don't have to identify with your pain, but it does need your love and your attention and your acknowledgement. And in this space, as we do this work, we also start to take those protective layers off of our hearts. We have a new form of protection, which is self-love, knowing ourselves, knowing truly who we are, knowing our shadow aspects, and also having the wisdom from what we've experienced. That is our shield. We don't need to shut down anymore. We understand that every experience that comes our way that triggers us is simply showing us a wound within ourselves that needs more love and more attention, and we get stronger without having to go into survival mode, without having to shut down. This is where we're headed right now. And so if you feel like you've been knocked on your ass and you don't really feel like you're moving forward and you're not creating a lot of things, it's because your full-time job, whether you know it or not, has been transmuting this pain. And if you really want to move forward, if you really want to feel like you've elevated to the next step of your healing journey, I invite you to really reflect on your life and the moments where your heart broke, the moments where you felt like you needed to shut down your emotions and shut down your love in order to protect yourself. Maybe it was as simple as a friend gossiping about you, or a boyfriend when you were 13 years old cheating on you. You know, the moments that we write off as meaningless because we were so young and it was stupid. But it wasn't. Many of these little moments can fundamentally change us. Same with the big ones, but it's likely if you're watching this video, you've probably acknowledged a lot of the big ones. Maybe you need to acknowledge those at a deeper level. What our inner children do not need is more invalidation, telling us to just suck it up and move on and get busy, take action and push ourselves. We are actively shifting out of that energy right now, and we are doing so much incredible work. I feel giddy when I say that because I can feel this energy of my spirit guides and angels and God just cheering us on right now because we've finally figured it out. We don't just think, oh yeah, our reality is a reflection of our internal world. We know it, and we are actively refusing to try to force things in our external world to get better because we know that is a trap. We know that we have to go inward, that it's not just a conceptual understanding that our internal world mirrors our external world. It is a deep knowing, and it is a mission that we have to keep going inward, keep digging into all of those places where you abandoned yourself, where you judged yourself, where you weren't validated, even getting a cut on your finger at 3 years old from falling off your bike and not feeling validated in your pain, something so small. And even as I say that, I can imagine that some of you might not really remember these occurrences, but all you have to do, you don't have to remember the exact memory. You might have an imaginative memory come up that mirrors the emotion of what you felt back then. That's enough. Validate your imagination. You might just have a sensation that comes up that feels uncomfortable. And instead of saying, oh no, I have to get rid of this discomfort, I have to make it go away, you sit with it and you presence it like a crying baby and you say, I'm right here. I love you. You're safe to feel now. I believe you. I believe your experience. Those words are so powerful. And as you do this work, you are going to become so incredibly powerful. Your psychic abilities are going to come back online because you are highly psychic, you are highly intuitive. You have gifts that you are going to tap into in this lifetime that are going to change your entire life. People are going to be coming to you. All of those people who judged you and misunderstood you, they're going to be coming to you one day and asking you how you did it, how you changed your life, why you look so happy and free and healthy. And because you're developing this compassion and non-judgment and unity consciousness, you're going to understand that they are you and you're going to help them. You're going to be able to get to that place of forgiveness. And you're going to be able to lead with love and help all of humanity shift. This is the path that we're on right now. This is the work that you're doing. So anytime you feel insignificant, or like you're spending another day laying in bed or aimlessly wondering what your purpose here is on earth, I want you to know that your purpose right now is literally just holding yourself so deeply. Removing that programming telling you that you constantly have to be outputting and doing and creating in order to be worthy. Do you know how significant it is to bring deep feelings of self-worth and love when you don't feel like you're outputting, when you don't feel productive? It is so significant that it is changing collectively the way that we operate. When you choose that, it creates this ripple effect that helps other people to understand my path to freedom is not just working tirelessly and becoming a millionaire and getting the perfect relationship. That is a trap set by the ego trying to get me to stay in survival mode. You choosing this, you choosing rest, you choosing healing is activating other people and breaking free from that cycle and recognizing, no, this energy that I have to create is best used inward right now. So that when I do create, it can come from that pure love and passion. Everything is energy, so the energy of what you create in this world matters. It is so significant, and it will have a drastic impact on the outcome of what you create. When you shift out of survival mode and you go inward and you do this healing work, eventually you will get a spark of inspiration. It'll tell you the time is right. It is the divine whispering to you. You will get so excited about something. This will happen for you, so don't doubt it. You will get so excited about something that you couldn't help yourself. You have to do it. You don't care about the outcome. You don't care what's going to come from it. That is the divine wanting to co-create with you through pure joy and excitement. But in order to be able to create from that space, we have to feel safe. And we have to let go of attachment. And the way that we let go of attachment is through that healing work that disconnected you from that passion, that disconnected you from your heart. As you get that spark back, you will be co-creating with the divine. You will love what you are doing. Yes, it is possible to love what you do and have an amazing, abundant outcome from that. Because when you co-create with the divine, miracles happen. Beyond your wildest dreams, what you thought could happen will happen when you follow this path. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Rest like it is making you money. Love yourself like it is going to solve all your problems, because it will. You are right on time. The world wasn't ready for you before. That's why this didn't happen before. The shift is now. There is no rush. We're in this together. And you're doing a great job. You're doing so much better than you think. And that is coming through very strong. Don't be so hard on yourself, and validate the fact that this has been a challenging time for you because of the depth of the trauma that you experienced. And again, you don't have to be a victim in order to deeply validate that trauma. Miracles will come when you hold yourself that deeply. That spark of inspiration will come back, and you will understand what it means to be the divine embodied. You will have access to real magic. You will have access to ideas and messages that you never had access to before, superpowers you never had access to before, strength, wisdom, compassion that you came here to download. That's what you came here to do. Through your trials and tribulations, you came here to download that energy of compassion and embody it so fully. And everyone is cheering you on right now. They're cheering us on. So that's all I have to say. I'm right here with you. Stop rushing. I know I get into this energy of rush. I think I should be doing things, but it is radically transformative to observe that and say, I'm right on time. And exactly what you feel called to do, what feels right for you to do, is what you're meant to do. Even if that's laying in bed and watching Netflix, eating a snack, as long as you are loving yourself and validating that it is safe for you to do that, it is healing. And if you struggle with that, validate that part of you who is struggling and love yourself. You always have the power to zoom out again, observe, and say, I choose self-love anyway. I don't have to be perfect with it. I can still have the part of me that's afraid, but I choose to call in self-love, ask for support, call on your higher self. When you can, go into meditation and spend some time connecting with your beautiful heart that has been through so much. I love you so, so very much, and I'm right here with you. Thank you for being here with me on my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.